video, we're taking a look at the property at 642 Hull Avenue in the West Side neighborhood of St. Paul, Minnesota. This is the home of Martha and Louis Nasch and their son Ralph Nasch. And prior to that, it was the home of Sebastian Sefar Calls, or pronounced Callis, and his wife Maria. Maria used to be Maria Durler, or Mary Durler, and then before that she was Mary Bauman. They were one of the original, or they were the original homeowners, having immigrated from Germany in 1880 or 81. So this was their home with its giant staircase. It was on a very steep hill, and then there'd be a sidewalk down here. This is Hull Avenue right in front of them, and we are looking east. So I'm going to rotate this display, and bear with me as these pictures are at all sorts of angles, providing us a different glimpse of the yard and the property as it was at that time. So if we are now standing on the sidewalk and we're looking up at the hill, we're looking diagonally at the house, there is Martha and her sister Mary. Her sister Mary was the chit-chatty one who started rumors and talked too much, apparently. But we are looking at them from the bottom of the hill, up the hill, and in this area, we'll see in other photos, there is a huge lawn garden. It's lush, lots of trees, vegetation, as well as vegetables in the garden. And so around the house, we'll see the outhouse back in the back corner. And they were one of the last homes on the street to have indoor plumbing. So that was an area of embarrassment for them for a long time. So if we rotate a little bit more, we can actually see that same angle, and I'm just gonna have to tuck this one down for us. We're looking diagonally at the house again, and we see they are working in the garden. We have Louis, Martha, Emma, and we have their neighbors who are actually relatives, cousins who live across the street. So it looks like they're headed up to the top of the roof for some reason. We have back here another step stool to get up to the roof. I don't know if they're going to be drying herbs or whatnot for the season, or even drying flowers to get seeds. So I don't know if they put stuff in an attic. The outhouse is right back here in the back corner, and we'll see that a little bit more closely in another photo. That photo was colorized through artificial intelligence. We don't actually have a color photo of it. So if we just swoop all the way around, we're gonna look from inside their yard. We're looking out towards the street, so where they were just in the vegetable patch. If we looked straight out, here is little Ralph, and he is camping in his yard in this image. We're looking straight out to the street. This tree here, we're gonna look through and find that same tree right here. There's Martha sitting in a wagon with Ralph, and then we have the neighbors here. These are the Weiners or Wiener houses. There are two houses on this property, and over here we have the Volkmeyer family. And then over in the corner, as I mentioned, this garden is really lush. We've got beautiful flowers here. Take note of this corner tree. And that is Ralph, and he's about 4 years old in that picture. Turning to the corner again. Now we're looking out towards Hall Avenue is back here, and there's a neighbor right here. The Metzgers are their next door neighbor, and there are a few big trees that are part of the border between their homes. But here we have Martha and Ralph out in the garden. There are ropes or lines for the grapes in the vineyard, and she's pointing to an apple tree or some sort of fruit tree. I know that they did have apple trees in there. If I rotate around and move that one a little bit out of the way, we see little Ralph in the background. I believe he's 5 in that image, and he's standing with some award-winning coxcomb flowers, celosia, in his arms. That was one of his father's favorite things to grow in the garden. If we agree that this giant tree is in the corner and we rotate around, I want you to imagine we're looking backwards in another diagonal direction from the side of the house. So if I tuck these down, we actually are looking out towards Humboldt now. And so I can see Humboldt along this side of the picture, and I can see Baker Street or Augusta Street on this side of the picture. So we're looking into a V in the background. Out in the distance, we might even be able to see a little bit of the house from 651 Humboldt, the roofing here. And then we've got the Myers home, 15 Bakers here. And we have the Crum house right here. And then this is Humboldt versus Baker Street. We can see that a little clearer in this one. I'd like to bring the camera closer for that one. And again, we're looking at a corner. So this is the corner house right here. So we see their house, and that is a house on Humboldt Avenue. But these two houses here are on Baker or Augusta Street. And then these are houses out in the distance, which are on Humboldt Avenue. And Martha's sister lives over 1, 2, 3 houses over. If we rotate back around, we're looking straight out towards behind the home. Ralph himself is showing off the back corner of the home and famous rose bushes. Ralph himself is showing us the back corner of the home with the 2-seater outhouse that he severely resented and would make business as fast as possible in. And then straight out from the outhouse, we can see a little bit of Humboldt High School when we're looking straight east from their front door. We went behind their house and looked straight east. So remember, we saw the corner and now we're looking straight back. So there's Humboldt High School in the background. And then blocking the view, we have the barn. There's Lewis and his son again in their very lush garden. And I'll zoom in for this photo again. We can see Humboldt in the background. This is 1927, and there is Ralph, and they're in the garden together. This is the barn in the backyard, which used to be a horse stable. Then it contained 2 giant black horses that the Collis is used for a brewery delivery system. They would deliver products from the breweries in the area. Thanks for joining.